Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing today? Thank you very much for joining us in this webinar about developing mastery, comparing talent and deliberate practice. First of all, I'd like to thank you for joining and thank you for trusting us as your learning partner. Just for those who are interacting for the first time with Meirc training and consulting as a learning provider, let me a little bit give you some background about our organization. So Meirc is a training and development company that has been established in 1958. Now this year we are celebrating our 61st year in the business. Our operation started in Beirut, and then in 1991 the headquarters has been established in Dubai. Nowadays the company offers courses on more than 200 topics across the region, Middle East, Africa, East Asia, and Europe, in both English and Arabic languages from 30 expert consultants in their fields, and these services are offered on in-company basis, public basis, and consulting services. So in 2014 as well, we have felt that there's a need in the market for a specialized training provision, and that's why we have established Plus as a specialty training that offers courses developed with and facilitated by subject matter experts, practitioners, and technical trainers. So as I can see, we have some interaction in the chat room, and that's a good opportunity, so I can ask everyone if they can hear me correctly. Please, would you type a text in the chat room just to make sure that you can receive me well? I'll just go ahead and type welcome. Okay, great. That's it. So a little bit more of background about Meirc. Meirc stands for 5 values for which we aspire and for which we thrive in order to fulfill our vision, which is becoming your most trusted partner in developing excellence and for the generations to come. So that's why our 5 values are mastery, excellence, innovation, reliability, but most importantly is client centricity, the value that drives everything we offer, the value that that keeps us busy and keep us looking forward to thrive and exceed the expectations of our clients. A little bit of background about myself. My name is Rabia Raza. I'm a management consultant in Meirc Training and Consultancy. I offer courses in interpersonal communication and self-development skills and leadership. These are the soft skills areas in which I offer given my previous expertise. And in the same time, I offer the technical courses in the HR disciplines. I have 2 masters, one in education and one in human resource management and training. The first is from Lebanon. The other one is from the United Kingdom. I've also had the opportunity to be certified in so many international training programs. Since 2001, I started this kind of a career, and now it has been 19 years so far. I'm very happy that today I'm being with you. Enough about me, and let's kickstart our very interesting topic, which is developing mastery, especially with the comparison that we're discussing today. Is mastery related to talent or related to practice? Certainly, researchers, scientists, practitioners have had several positions regarding this debate, but let me position this debate first in its practical context. So, our research has identified 5 elements for top performance in the organizations. We'd like to call them 5 productivity traits for optimal performance, and we give them the acronym SUPER because the 5 elements are the following. S stands for skills. U stands for uninterrupted time. P stands for people. E stands for energy. And R stands for relevance. Now, this model that we have developed is focused on making sure that we give employees in the workplace what are the elements that make them become top performer and reach their utmost best of potential and productivity in the workplace. And that's why the 5 elements that you can see on your left are going to be fruitful in that manner. Skills is going to flourish mastery. And that's our topic today, but just I'm introducing the whole context of it. Uninterrupted time will give you focus. Hamdan, for sure we can go back to the elements. Anyway, you can see the elements on the left side, they are the same, but in the previous slide, they were just designed differently. So it is super, stands for skills, uninterrupted time, people, energy, and relevance. Now, in our previous webinar about 5 productivity of for optimal performance, 5 productivity traits for optimal performance, we offered a full explanation about these 5 elements. So if you need more explanation about it, the webinar is recorded and exists on our website. You can go ahead and listen to it as well as a recording. Today, as a follow-up on that webinar, I would like to focus on mastery, which is the result of developing your skills as a top performer. Hamdan, is it okay now? And by the way, for those of you who would like to have this presentation by the end of the webinar, you can get it as well. Let me just send you my email here on the chat box. So you can email me saying that you need the slides and would be sharing it with you very happily as well. So today we talk about mastery. First of all, when we talk about a master of skills needs to answer with a 100% yes to these 6 statements that you can see in front of you. The first statement is, I am a recognized subject matter expert by others. In other words, there is a special area of expertise in which I am very well recognized to be the utmost best in my environment, if not even at a worldwide scale. The second one is, I can perform my job-related tasks with supreme quality. It means it's unmatchable level of master pieces that I deliver every time I deliver within my area of expertise. I take care of each tiny details and I deliver consistently with supreme quality. The third statement that you need to answer with an absolute 100% yes to score 100% on the first element, which is skills, is the following. I consistently deliver beyond expectations. And that's also a very important aspect, because those who watch you delivering, they will feel like you are doing a piece of art rather than just doing your job. Statement number 4 is, I solve task-related problems independently, no matter how complex they are. That's a sign of supreme skills. 5, I can teach others all my job-related skills, because it means that you have internalized and also reflected upon your learning journey, so you can reproduce it for others and teach it for them. And finally, I deliver faster, better, and more efficiently. These 6 statements describe people who are somehow masters in their craft or masters in what they do. Now, Certainly you're asking yourself, how many people fulfill these 6 statements and how they can fulfill this? And is it meant for everyone to fulfill these statements and become masters? As I said before, the question of whether this is a talent or deliberate skills has been a subject of debate, but recently I have been following some worldwide researchers that have found some breakthrough observations in the business, and they have some very interesting findings that I would like to share with you. But first of all, let's check the pictures of these famous people that you can see here in the slides. Now, maybe some of you are not sports fan, but Lionel Messi, Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, Cristiano Ronaldo are acknowledged to be the best in their fields. Like the best to a point that when they are there, you can notice no one but them. However, a very interesting fact that I would like to share with you is that although these are masters of their crafts, you wonder how come they still have coaches. And I'm not talking about the team manager. I'm talking about a coach that is fully assigned to enhance their skills. And you ask yourself, how come these guys should be the coach themselves? They don't need a coach. They need someone to just learn from them, not someone to coach them. However, that's a little bit of a surprise, and thanks to Dr. Anders Ericsson, now we can have a little bit of an answer about this somehow interesting fact. So let me start by reading a quote from the book called Peak, The Secrets of Ultimate Performance, that is shared by Dr. Anders Ericsson. And he said that the search for stable, heritable characteristics that could predict or at least account for the superior performance of eminent individuals has been surprisingly unsuccessful. It's like Dr. Erickson saying that these guys that we have just seen are not there because of talent. They are there because of something else, and that's what he calls the deliberate practice. Now, that's a very special kind of practice that has been identified through many, many thousands of hours of research on masters in crafts and top performers, whether in the job, whether in the organization, whether in sports, or whether in any student trying to master a certain skill. So let me introduce you a little bit to this very interesting concept. Now, first of all, Dr. Erickson says that there is a new breakthrough in terms of research stating that potential of people and talents of people can be expanded. In other words, he is busting the myth that we have inherited for a long time, saying that every person has limitation within which he can or she can develop. In fact, Anders Ericsson states that these limits are only self-imposed and they can be stretched to just as much as a person is able to dedicate for deliberate practice time. So, in simple words, you know that you used to say practice makes perfect, so that's not really true. And as a matter of fact, I'd like to share with you a personal story. Now, last year I had a fight with my laundry guy. Last week. Last week I had a fight with my laundry guy, and to be honest with you, I have never ironed a shirt before that time. I used to rely on my laundry guy to make sure that he does all the job for me. However, what I noticed is the following. The weekend went by, I forgot that I need to secure another laundry guy, and I found myself on Sunday morning having to iron my shirt myself. Now, trust me, you don't want to see that shirt. It was not the perfect job. However, what I noticed is the following. I have been ironing now for 5 consecutive days. And what I thought myself is that with practice, I should have become better. Hamdan, yes, that's the webinar is only sound based, so that's why we didn't set up camera, just to make sure that we can optimize your internet connection, because the video might scramble it somehow. So after 5 days of such a basic skill, which is ironing a shirt, I couldn't get a better product, which is a better ironed shirt. And it linked this webinar somehow together, although it's a very simplistic question, to the next slide that I'm going to show you, which is the following. In fact, think about it for a while. If you practice for so many time a certain skill, just for the regular practice, nothing special about it, you just put on time on practicing this skill, what would happen is the following. You will see your skill improving, but after a certain period of time, your skill will not improve anymore. You will reach a straight line where the skills are not improving anymore. And I believe that's true, because after a while, if you are practicing by yourself, you will not feel any kind of enhancement or any kind of improvement in the deliverables itself. That's why practice itself does not make perfect, but purposeful practice makes perfect. And again, going back to the ironing example, if I had someone observing me ironing this shirt, hopefully an expert, hopefully not my wife, okay, but an expert in ironing, he would have given me some precious advice that would have helped me in improving my skills. But since this coach was not there, he was absent or she was absent, I had to figure it out myself, certainly awaiting for certain insight on a certain mistake that I am doing in terms of ironing the shirt. But would it have been in the presence of an expert, he would have pointed this mistake very early in my practice and then helped me to reach higher levels of skills faster and with higher quality. So, purposeful practice is the concept introduced by Anders Ericsson in his book Peak as well, which we really thank because it's really a piece of art. And he says that purposeful practice has 4 attributes. The first attribute is that when you practice and you want to improve with the practice time, not just reach this stagnation level that we have shown earlier, first you need to have a practice specific goal. It's like you used to do something in 12 minutes. Today, you will make sure that you will be able to do it in 10 minutes. So you need to have a specific goal for the purposeful practice. By the beginning of your practice session, you need to write down that goal. You need to focus on it. You need to monitor it in a way that would help you achieve it. So this way you can monitor your improvement. Another attribute of purposeful practice is intense focus. Now this seems impossible with smartphones around That's why you need to put your smartphone away when you are practicing the skill in which you would like to become a master. Let's say you need to practice 1 hour. It's a practice that has zero interruption no matter what. That's how you become a master. Why is that? Because when you focus your mind on that skill, believe it or not, your brain cells will reconnect themselves, will rewire themselves to find breakthrough in the practice, come up with lessons that will make you make jumps in terms of the skill, not just small improvements. And your brain will make new connections related to your muscles, related to your six senses, you're related to every neuron in your body. So this practice will reach a higher level of performance, and then you would be one step closer to mastery. The third element about purposeful practice is immediate feedback. What is immediate feedback? Is that you need to know by the end of the session, did you succeed or not? If you succeed, why? If you don't, again, why? That's why you need. Oh, Hamdan, you can learn guitar for sure, my friend. I have learned guitar when I was 30 years old. So it's a skill that you can definitely you can definitely learn, my friend. Now, and that's bringing the music example is very important here, because the top musicians in the world, when you see them performing, you think that it is talent, but what you don't know behind the scenes is that there is between 6 to 9 hours of practice on daily basis with coaches, with reflection, and with all the components that we are talking about right now. Now, the fourth attribute of purposeful practice is the frequent discomfort. In fact, when you are practicing and trying to reach this certain level of performance, the specific goal that you had, but you couldn't, you will feel some kind of frustration. And in another moment, you will say to yourself, yes, I can do it. I can make sure that I will learn from my mistakes and I will find this breakthrough. When you reflect upon it, maybe you will go from the training session frustrated that you didn't reach your goal. But as you reflect on it later on, as you visualize your practice later on, you will find out your mistakes. And when you find out your mistake, you will be able to correct it, and you will be able to make a jump in terms of the performance and in terms of the mastery itself. So, how does this cycle of purposeful practice go? Now, first, you hit what we call a perceived limit. You reach a certain point where you say, that's the best I can do. And after that, you go through a long period of frustration, but you never stop practice. And all of a sudden, you get what we call a sudden breakthrough. And this breakthrough will make you understand what you have been doing incorrectly. And when you do that, you reach a step of Hamdan will finish in around 10 minutes. No problem, my friend. I know you have some other commitments, so don't worry about that. The webinar is about 40 minutes altogether. So you will reach what we call a rapid practice. What I need to mention here is the following. If you are a chess fan, you know that chess is a game that you don't practice on the board. In fact, masters of the game, they don't master chess on the chessboard. They master it in their mind. One of the most talented Norwegian players, He was around 16 years old and he was playing against 10 opponents in the same time, blindfolded. Can you imagine it? 10 opponents in the same time, blindfolded. Why? Because he practices the game in his mind and not on the chessboard. I'm not talking about some kind of a voodoo magical thing. No, I'm talking about the focus that you repeat in your brain the process, and then you figure out what you have been doing wrong and how you can improve. Now, from purposeful practice, in order to move to the best level of practice, which is the deliberate practice, all you need to add is an expert coach. Why the coach? Because the coach can observe. The coach can connect the dots that you cannot see because you are busy practicing. And he can give you the feedback that we spoke about earlier. So you remember this third element about feedback. You are not the only one who can give feedback for yourself. An expert coach can help you to get this feedback. So for those of you who want to master something, please make sure that you get a coach that is an expert in this skill, and together you can reach levels of practice that are unmatchable. Remember, deliberate practice is not always an enjoyable practice. It will not feel good most of the time unless you reach the level of mastery where this skill becomes an inherent biological, neurological system. So remember, what you need to do is the following. You need to practice, you need to reflect, because otherwise you will reach the surface of level of skills. But if you monitor yourself and you choose to do the deliberate practice that we are talking about, you will see these jumps in skill that we have spoken about. Allow me to go back to step number 4 of the cycle, the rapid progress that happens after the sudden breakthrough. And certainly, the more you learn from experts, the better you will be in a faster period of time, and you might be even the best in the field. So that's deliberate practice. Just few words on the comparison to talent and on the study that has been done. As you can see in the graph here, you have 3 lines or 3 curves that compare the skill level to the time spent on practice. The red line, which is the reality, it shows the regular practice, what we call the mindless practice, the practice that has no coach, has no feedback, and has no reflection or visualization whatsoever. In fact, you practice, you improve, but after a certain period of time, you lose faith, you lose interest, and then you even lose the skill itself. However, the deliberate practice is, as you can see, always ascending. With the presence of a mentor, was the challenge of your perceived limitation, mainly called homeostasis, with setting specific goals, getting feedback and fixing accordingly, and having those uninterrupted practice sessions, you will see that you will be always improving. Now, certainly, mastery is a journey that keeps on setting you higher challenges, and that's why your expectations are always on the blue line. The main thing is that you need always to operate on the edges. In other words, you don't have to push your specific goals to unmatchable limits, but you only need to make sure that you're pushing yourself every day a little bit further, because when you do that, you will be able to reach the level of mastery before you know it. Now, this brings us to the end of the content that I would like to share in this webinar. Allow me now, before wrapping up and sharing some final note, please allow me to give you some moment if you have some questions that you would like to type in the chat room so we can discuss them together. Thank you, Hamdan. Really appreciate your feedback and your interaction. So I'll allow 30 more seconds. If we don't receive question, I'll just pursue to the closing of this webinar with some final notes. Okay, so let me remind you, gentlemen. That's it. I was going back here. So as I told you, Super is a model of 5 elements of top performance that is developed internally at Meirc, and we are offering it in a course called 5 productivity traits for optimal performance. Let me remind you, to become a top performer in your job, what you need to do is to have the right skills that will lead you to mastery. You need uninterrupted time that will give you the focus. You need to have people around you that will enhance responsiveness of your work environment. You need your physical energy so you can keep the enthusiasm, and you need to do something relevant for the organization so you can stay aligned. And today we have shared with you a glimpse of how you can develop your skills to reach a mastery level. The main message is that it's not about talent, it's about deliberate practice. Wishing you all the best, and let me close this session inviting you to join us for our training called again 5 productivity traits for optimal results in Dubai from November 10 to November 14. If you would like to know more about the details of the course, or you would like to read the outline or register for the course, please follow the link. And as well, if you would like to have the slides that I shared today by email, please feel free again to write me a small note and saying so. Thank you very much. It has been a pleasure being with you. And for all those who are sending the thank you messages, I'm really glad that you enjoyed the webinar. Please, again, I would like to invite you to hear the recorded webinar that we had previously on Meirc website. So you can just go to meirc.com, check the webinars, and you can get the 5 productivity traits for optimal results. Looking forward to see you in another webinars. And also, if you would like to join us in the training session, please be my guest. Thank you very much. Enjoy your afternoon and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Meirc.com